Hi kids, I'm in my study late at night, but I just thought I've got time to record tomorrow's assembly. So here it is. We're looking at truth and lies again. And this time it's slightly more personal and slightly more sort of pointed. We're looking at the truth and lies that we believe about ourselves. So what's the best thing that anyone's ever said about you? Can you remember that? Just to pause the video and just try and think, what's the best thing anyone's ever said about you? Well, there's this lovely trick box card. It's called Stand Tall. And it says, think about the good things about you and stand tall. And there's this lovely picture of this trick box guy. And he's got these lovely sort of power circles coming from the middle of his being because he's thinking, or she's thinking, of all the good things about them. And I don't know if people have ever said really nice things about you, because people can say amazing things. And it's amazing how they can really sort of, they're really good. Look, how about this one? Sporty. They might say, you're very sporty, Val. Or they might say, Coolio, you're so Coolio. And sometimes they might say stuff like, you're very smart. Or they might even say something like, oh, you're hilarious. And you think, oh, yes, I am hilarious. And you might think that about yourself anyway, but you sort of think you're hilarious. And you walk around thinking you're hilarious. And that's quite nice, actually. You can stand tall. But sometimes people say other stuff, don't they? Moron. Has anyone ever called you a moron? I put big bum there. Maybe someone's called you big bum before. That's not very nice, is it? But most of this stuff, it doesn't really look thinny there. Nincompoop, that's an old one. It doesn't really stick to us because, we smelly, just, oh, thanks very much, but I don't believe you. But sometimes someone might say something like stupid and it just sticks to you. And you just can't think about anything else than the fact that you must be quite stupid. And or how about this one? Boring. They call you boring. And it almost like sticks to you. It might be someone who's quite important in life says that to you. And you just can't get rid of that feeling. Do you know what? We're talking about truth and lies. These things, stupid and boring, they're lies. We can stand tall. We can think the good things about ourselves and forget rubbish people say. The person who really helps us do that, of course, is God. Because he knows the truth about you. He knows everything about you. And he would never call you stupid because he's your great Father in heaven. And he sees things about you that no one else can. And he would never call you boring because he finds you so infinitely interesting because you're his son or his daughter. You see, there's this lovely verse in Scripture. It says, God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that all may know him. You see, the one big truth we can always hook into as believers is that we have a great Father in heaven who loves us, who sees stuff about us no one else does, and who knows all the bad stuff as well. But he just loves us anyway, and we can give all that bad stuff to him. So we're going to have a prayer time now. This is quite an important prayer time, kids, and I want you to get involved in this. What I want you to do, and I want you to think about the worst thing that someone has ever said to you or about you. And I want the teachers to do this as well, because these words, they really do stick, And they can, I prayed with a lovely person who's incredibly gifted today, and she's my age. She still has a problem about feeling stupid. And that was because someone close to her said she was stupid. And it might be things that your parents have said to you, or your teachers have said to you, or other children in school. But think about what that is. Okay, so we're just thinking about the worst thing that anyone's ever said. And I'm doing this too, kids. I'm trying to think at the moment. And what I want us to do is when we've got that thing, I want us to imagine that Jesus is here. You see, he just sees us so differently. And what we can imagine is a bit like that thing that person said. It was like a word sticking to us. And we can imagine that we take it off and we just give it to Jesus. But we don't want to stop there. We want to let it go. And we want to open our hand to receive from him what he has to say to us today. Can you feel him? Can you maybe see a picture, or maybe a word's popped into your head? That's probably Jesus talking to you, because he loves you like no one else can. And that is the biggest truth we can ever know in the whole world. God bless you, kids.